All right, gun voters in House District 47. 20-year incumbent state rep Jan Jones versus her challenger, Pamela Eckhardt. Who can gun voters count on to fight for their gun rights in the Georgia House? Stay tuned, guys. We're breaking your race down right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Georgia Gun Owners. So again, we're talking about Jan Jones versus Pamela Eckhardt. It's this area here, it's portions of Cherokee and Fulton County. And it's kind of a David versus Goliath situation. You'll hear about that in a few moments. So the question you're asking us, again, is not which candidate says they're pro-gun. Every candidate says they're pro-gun in a Republican Party primary here in Georgia. No, the question you've asked us is, who do we know that we can trust? How do we know who we can trust? Those are all very important questions. Here at GGO, what we do is give the candidates a candidate questionnaire which forces them to put their views in writing. If a candidate won't put their views in writing, they can get out because we don't trust a word they have to say. When their views are in writing, though, it gives you and I a really good snapshot of who they are, how they would vote, and the chance to hold them accountable if they screw us down the road. In this race, we're going to begin with Pamela Eckhardt. The good news is that Pamela Eckhardt surveyed 100% pro-gun. And we can't fit all the questions on our survey on the board here, but you can see them all for yourself on our website right now at georgiagunowners.org. The good news is that Pamela opposes the big issues of the day right now here in Atlanta, namely red flag gun seizures. You guys have probably heard of a red flag law. It allows your ex-spouse, it allows a bitter coworker, it allows an angry libtard neighbor to call you in and say, he might be dangerous. They can then ask the judge to confiscate your firearms, having never been arrested or convicted of anything. It shreds your due process rights. It destroys the idea of innocent until proven guilty. They're terrible. And thank God Pamela Eckhardt opposes them. She also opposes the Democrats' dream of banning AR-15s here in Georgia. Everyone knows it's the most popular firearm in the country. Pamela Eckhardt supports your right to own those. And she opposes these deadly safe storage laws. You've probably heard about these. Has made a lot of progress here in Atlanta last session. The idea is they claim they're trying to cut down on violent crime. What they're really doing is forcing you and me to lock up our guns virtually 24 hours a day. The idea of having a Glock 19 on your bedside stand or a shotgun in your business, that would be illegal under these deadly safe storage laws. Again, they have to be locked up basically 24 hours a day. It's stupidity, and Pamela Eckhardt opposes those here in Georgia. And as important as what it is that she opposes, we're very curious to see what would Pamela Eckhardt support? What would she vote for? One of those things is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. We call it SAPA law for short. SAPA is a top-tier item right now for us here at GGO because we have a madman in the White House who was using his pen to sign executive orders one after the next, attacking our gun rights, and he expects Georgia cops to enforce it here in Georgia. That's crap. Georgia cops work for Georgians. We have our own Constitution, we have our own General Assembly, we have our own gun laws here in Georgia, and SAPA law simply acknowledges that and tells our Georgia cops to enforce Georgia law. Thank goodness Pamela Eckhardt supports that. She also backs our other bill, which would ban red flag gun seizures here in Georgia forever. So every question we ask Pamela Eckhardt, 100% pro-gun. We're very happy to acknowledge that. And that brings us to Jan Jones. And guys, they say that some things get better with time. That has not been the case with Jan Jones. And more importantly, has not been the case when it comes to her stance on our right to keep and bear arms. Jan Jones has been in office since 2003, over 20 years. And in that time, Georgia's only passed a handful of pro-gun bills. We had 2006 Stand Your Ground law. We had constitutional carry in 2022, and basically nothing else of substance that mattered in over 20 years. So Jan Jones has ridden on the backs of gun owners into elected office for 20 plus years and done very little with the trust that gun voters have given her. This year, she's refusing to fill out her GGO candidate questionnaire. I told you guys, when a candidate won't put their views in writing, that usually means they intend to screw us. And that would likely be the case with Jan Jones because She's been screwing us for the last couple of years. Check this out. So again, our major goal right now is the Second Amendment Preservation Act, SAPA law for short. We went to Jan Jones and said, hey, as the Speaker Pro Tem, we'd love to have you on this bill. Would you please co-sponsor? Jan Jones basically said, get the flip out 2 years in a row. Look it up for yourself. The bill number last year was HB 293. This year's bill number was HB 1009. And so as we're fighting tooth and nail to defend our gun rights, to keep Georgia free, to keep Georgia cops out of the clutches of Joe Biden, Jan Jones does nothing to lift a finger to help us. It's not good stuff. But it's worse than that, because as Speaker Pro Tem, which she's loudly bragging about right now in the district, she has a lot of power to help advance or defeat legislation. And she's using that power right now in the bad way, in the wrong way. You see, Jan Jones has been going around in the Georgia House whispering in the ears of freshman state reps, sophomore state reps, junior state reps, saying, hey, that bill from Georgia gun owners, SAPA, that's too extreme for us here in Georgia. You shouldn't co-sponsor that. And so, while it's true she has an important position as Speaker Pro Tem, she's used that position to weaken, to harm our gun rights here in Georgia. Shame on you for that. Shame on you, Jan. And so, having not done her candidate survey, we simply can't tell you right now how she would vote on red flag gun seizures. The Republicans, the rhinos, I should say, they believe they have a good version of red flag gun seizures. It's being talked about in red states all across the country. You see, Joe Biden has promised states that pass any version of red flag laws a lot of federal money. And rhinos in a lot of these states, they want that free money from Uncle Joe. So will Jan Jones vote for red flags to get that free money? We don't know. Will she vote to repeal stand your ground law here in Georgia? We don't know. What about gun registration? We don't know. We do know that Jan's in a very metro district, and people in those areas right now are moving to the middle very quickly when it comes to our gun rights, and that is a very, very dangerous sign. So guys, in closing, if you're a gun voter in this district, if you see Jan Jones, ask her, why wouldn't you co-sponsor SAPA legislation here in Georgia? Why won't you fill out your Georgia gun owners candidate questionnaire? What are you trying to hide? And if you see Pamela Eckhardt, thank her for standing up very proudly, very loudly, and telling all of us that she is 100% pro-gun. Guys, to see more race breakdowns across the state, go to our YouTube channel, go to our Facebook page, and as always, share this video online so more people know where these two candidates stand. Take care, guys. Stay free.